Hello, I'm Denise. We all like shopping, right? You know, those moments when you feel down and say, why don't I just go to a mall and shop around? And then you come home with numerous bags with things you actually don't need, but with a strange feeling of relief. I can tell you how sometimes such an innocent hobby can become obsessive or even dangerous. I was in high school when my life suddenly turned into hell. Everything was going perfect. Loving family, nice friends, a wonderful boyfriend. When everything is going fine, at some point you start suspecting that it can't last for ages. And indeed, at my sophomore year in March, things started crumbling. My parents made a huge argument and didn't talk to each other. I even heard some conversations about a divorce. I got nervous because of that and couldn't concentrate on my studies, and my marks went down. And the cherry on top? I caught my boyfriend cheating on me with my best friend. All these are unpleasant things, but if you put them together, they can be unbearable for a teenager. Unfortunately, for the first time in my life, I had a nervous breakdown and I had no idea how to handle it. The worst thing was that I had no one to confide in. My parents had other problems and I had neither a best friend nor a boyfriend anymore. I didn't want to bother people who weren't very close to me, and I didn't want to be too personal with them either. I had the only choice, to deal with my problems on my own. Everyone fights stress in his or her own way. Some people start studying obsessively. Too bad it was not my case. Many people start overeating, or vice versa, stop eating at all. There are many other ways to keep yourself distracted. Doing lots of sports, binge watching series one after another, and many, many more. I found my very own way to decrease stress, which was shopping. I remember once my parents had a particularly heated argument, and I escaped from home just to stay on my own in silence for a while. Where can I go, I thought. Of course, the mall. Lots of people, crowded shops, food court, a perfect place to hide from your thoughts. It would be also nice to buy myself a couple of new outfits to distract myself from my depressing thoughts. That's what I did. And I should say that I forgot about my problems completely while I was trying on new jeans or choosing myself a new handbag. I came home elated and decided that I needed to go shopping more often. In all that depression, my body didn't get endorphin anymore, so I felt an urge to repeat my mall stroll very soon. I had some money saved, and I had a possibility to go shopping at least once a week. I was quickly becoming an addict. At some point, I wanted to buy more things more often. I was doing it not because I needed anything, but because I had the necessity of positive emotions I received while shopping. In a couple of months, I realized that I was quickly running out of money and a place in my room to keep all the things I was buying. But it didn't bother me at all. Everyone around me was still busy with their problems. My parents were still discussing a divorce, and no one was particularly interested in what I was doing. So I could dedicate myself to my hobby completely. Okay, storage space objectively wasn't a big problem. I didn't even wear what I was buying, just storing new things wherever I could. Money was a bigger problem. I finished all the money I had, and weekly allowance from my parents was not enough. I came out with a genius solution. I started taking cash straight from my mom's bag. I'm not proud of myself, but I was convincing myself that it was not stealing and that mom wouldn't mind anyway. Of course it was stealing, and I still felt ashamed, but I couldn't help it. I just needed money to dedicate myself to my favorite addiction. But once that I decided that I needed to go big, I took my dad's credit card. What was I thinking about? My idea was that if I spent just a bit, he wouldn't notice. But unfortunately, I didn't manage to be moderate. I spent a very big sum, around $500. I returned the card to his wallet, all scared and trembling about what he would do when he found out. But a day passed, then 3, then 5, and he never noticed a thing. And I was dying to make another raid around the shops. So I thought, why don't I just try another time? That time, I just couldn't stop. I was buying and buying without even trying anything on, just buying whatever I could see, until at some point I heard that phrase that everyone dreads, "Sorry, your card got declined." Obviously, that was the signal to stop shopping. Of course, I got worried, because why on earth would a credit card be blocked? I got an answer home where I was greeted by my dad, absolutely furious. He had been called by the bank, and there were numerous purchases going on, and he found out that his credit card was missing. I decided not to invent stories and just tell him the truth. Well, I need to say that my mom and dad finally united to punish me, and it was a turning point when they finally made peace. I got my piece of attention, and after that shock, I didn't even feel an urge to go shopping anymore. I dedicated several weeks trying to bring the clothes I had never worn back to the stores, and it was pretty much a quest. All that stress kept me distracted from my depression, and ironically, brought me back to life. And, well, apart from being punished by my parents, I now have a huge wardrobe that will be enough for me for many years. Now I am obsessed with keeping fit. Well, at least it doesn't cost money. Do you have your crazy spending stories? Share them in the comments and subscribe to the channel to get more stories like mine. Thanks for listening to